Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Deja Vu, and this is going to be set 2 from Air Force Ace versus Samsung Khan. This is the Shinhan Bank Pro League 0809, Round 4, Week 5. This is going to be a Zerg versus Zerg game on Battle Royale. For Air Force Ace, we're going to have Oversky. I think he's a pretty good player. He's about 50% overall. Zerg versus Zerg is actually his worst matchup, but he's probably between him and with the recent I don't know, showmanship of Go Rush. Wow, that's a terrible word for it, but the whatever. Go Rush has suddenly showed up, and now him and Oversky are certainly the top two Zergs for Air Force Ace. For a long time, it was just Oversky, and he was really the only legit Zerg. But Go Rush is looking really good recently, despite his disqualification for the OSL, which I don't feel like ranting about now. But it was really stupid, kind of like the Lita Cal thing. It was pretty dumb. But yeah, Go Rush and Oversky are definitely doing pretty well for Air Force Ace in the recently. And Oversky is going to be playing against Odin for Samsung Khan. And let's just get the start positions here real fast. Oversky is going to be in red in the bottom right, and then Odin, also called Espada, which I had a Spanish teacher named Espada, but I don't think that's what he's going for there. Oh, I have no idea what that is. And yeah, Odin will be in the top left. Odin is a pretty average player overall. He's about 40% overall, but his ZVZ and his ZVP are both pretty good. They're both over 50%, and then his ZVT is at like 19. Wow, 19% is his ZVT. So as long as he's not playing a Terran, he's actually pretty decent. He's actually a pretty solid player. And this is Battle Royale, so it's a really small map, as we know, with start positions so close, and the overpool with gas builds so predominant and so dominant and just so common. It's just nothing else has really even been used. I haven't seen anything other than overpool with gas in a I don't know, probably the last 5 or 6 times I've done a ZVZ on this game, on this map. So it's probably gonna be the same thing again. And yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. And I'm gonna expect from this game that I'm gonna go predict that Air Force Ace gets a win in this match, and that Oversky takes down Odin. I don't like Odin. I do like Oversky. I just like him because of his he had this one game where he did a proxy hatchery on I think it was Katrina, which was pretty sweet. I don't remember who he's playing against, but that was pretty awesome, and that was the game that like made me a fan of Oversky. And yeah, it does look like both players have produced an Overlord here with their 9th egg, or their 9th Psy, whatever you want to call it. And those are probably going to be more drones, and then they're gonna throw down spawning pool, although usually you throw down the spawning pool pretty soon here. We'll see if the timing's off here at all. Yeah, Oversky is already throwing down his pool and gas, and okay, no, they were pretty much the same exact time. I was just a little late there. And they're both gonna watch everything that they do, and they're probably gonna do the exact same thing. One thing that can happen here that is going on a lot is that players will throw down a hatchery there at their natural, near that assimilator area and by the temples there. And yeah, looks like that's exactly what Oversky is going to do. And as soon as Oversky goes and does it, of course, Odin goes and reacts by doing it himself. And that's what we've seen over and over again. It's just like, if one player does it, the other player will follow suit. They're just like waiting. They're just playing like a game of chicken. Who's going to do it first? Who's going to do it first? And I think at this point it's pretty much stopped being a game of chicken, or if it hasn't, it will stop, and that both players will just go do it. Spawning pool should be nearly completed for both players. Yeah, there it's completed, and then we're going to see some Zerglings come out. And actually we're going to see a layer started before the Zerglings for Oversky. He's going to get that, actually for both players, they're going to get the layer up, and then only one egg morphin for each player right now. So they must be low on minerals or something, so they're going to have Zerglings coming in and a little more straggled than normally. Actually, that first egg for Odin was a drone and not 2 Zerglings, so he's not going for the initial 6 Zerglings. He might end up still getting 4, but we'll see. Oversky is going to produce Zerglings as is standard, and he's also going to know that Odin did not produce as many Zerglings necessarily, so he will have a short period of time that he might be able to get a 6 versus 4 ling advantage and maybe try and do some damage. But it looks like he's just going to focus on his own assimilators, box himself in, and it looks like that's what Odin's going to do too. Both of them are just going to break that first assimilator, probably move outside of the assimilator area and take down the second one, and then move on from there. That's been pretty common now. And yes, the 2 more Zerglings have been produced for Odin, so he's fine. And yeah, they both have 6 Zerglings now, and that assimilator is going to go down really fast. Oversky should make sure that he gets those 3 Zerglings over to the top there, above the assimilator, so that way they don't get blocked inside of his base and he can continue to use them. Oversky moving in here towards Odin's base to see if he could sneak by while they were killing the assimilator, but while the Zerglings were killing the assimilator, but he was unsuccessful, so he's just going to drop back. And Odin really just wants to block himself in really badly. He doesn't even care if he has to box his Zerglings in anyways. He's going to do it. But yeah, he did end up getting his Zerglings out and breaking that assimilator. So both assimilators are down. Both players, I believe, have 6 Zerglings in the middle of the map. And we'll see if either of them decide to go for side disruptors or if we're just going to have a little Zergling micro fight here. And here come the Zerglings. Micro fight. Go! And we're afraid to engage. Both players trying to get a better tactical advantage, trying to get more of a surround, get a better concave on the other person with their Zerglings. We'll see what happens here. And here we go. We're going to see the fight. And I think Oversky has the advantage here. But Odin doing some great micro there, pulling a couple wings back and then moving that were taking damage and then going back and forth there. And he's going to win this. Both players have 1 Zergling left. Actually, they might actually have the same HP. No, actually, yeah, they have pretty much the same HP. They both have 16 HP, so that was a perfectly balanced there. But now Odin got 1 bonus hit there on Oversky while his Zergling was running around, and the Spires are now going up for both players as well. And this is just funny now, just watching 1 Zergling versus 1 Zergling. Of course, whoever wins, it's not really going to make any difference at all. 1 Zergling is not going to do anything, especially when it's trapped in the middle there. There's no way it's going to be able to take down the side disruptor in any sort of reasonable amount of time or anything. So we're just going to go straight to the air battle here. We're going to see if either player decides to go Scourge first. The Scourge do get produced first, and because of that time gap there, we have been seeing a couple players. I know Jaedong did, and I saw it again another time, where players produced Scourge and went to go catch the Mutalisks as they spawned, and that looks like that's what Oversky is going to try and do here. He's going to try and catch these Mutalisks, but he's going to be a little late there, and I think Odin's going to have enough Mutalisks that he should be able to micro just fine. Yeah, he has enough that he'll be able to micro just fine against this. But Oversky also has his Mutalisk out as well, so he's going to see if he can maybe get a drone or 2. If he goes to the natural, he might be able to get a drone or 2 before Odin is able to respond, but it doesn't look like he wants to commit. It looks like he's worried about getting counter-harassed here. My personal opinion on that is that if you can attack first in a weak spot and the other person wants to counterattack, you should be able to do more damage faster, and therefore, just by the rate of assault, you should come out over the top there. If you can find that gap to attack in and not get trapped or anything. And it looks like that's what he's going to go for now. He is moving in. He's going to try and pick off this Overlord. That will help him a lot. That will definitely slow down Odin, because he's going to have to produce another Overlord before he's likely able to produce any more Mutalisks. Or he might only be able to produce a couple more Mutalisks, but he will be side-blocked very likely for at least a little while. And that's very important, really, to protect your Overlords. Oversky actually throwing his Overlords to the bottom left portion of the map, spreading them out a little bit back down there, because by doing that it's going to be very difficult. And hold on, here comes a fight. All the Scourge go down, a couple landed for each side, and now the Mutalisks are fighting, and now Oversky doing some good micro there on the Scourge, and Odin having great micro against the Scourge of Oversky. And now more Scourge coming in for Oversky. If he can land any of these, he does already have the Mutalisk advantage. If he can land a Scourge or 2, this will be over really fast. And yes, the Scourge are going to hit. Yeah, the Scourge landed, and that's good. That is it for Odin. Just that fast. The game went from just building up in the air battle to being virtually over. Yeah, this is over. Oversky is picking up drones left and right, and Odin's just watching, impotent, and just, oh, he's just watching drones die. He's got like 2 drones left in his main here. He's just staying in it to stay in it. I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know how he thinks he's going to make a comeback here. More Scourge coming in for Oversky, pucking off the new reinforcing Mutalisk of Odin. And yeah, these Mutalisks for Odin are all going to go down, and he knows it, and he's just waiting, avoiding the inevitable. I don't know. He might actually be able to fend this off, I suppose, but he lost so many drones there that it is over. And that's how fast ZVZ goes. Even though he's fended this off now, it is done. What I was saying earlier about the Overlords being down there at the bottom right is that they're very well defended there for Oversky. Go Rush, or Odin can't go down there and take them down without moving his Mutalisks way out of position. And yeah, Odin's trying to pick off some Mutalisks here with some Scourge and things, but Oversky's going to be fine here. And there's the GG for Odin, finally. And that was a great play by Oversky, finding that one gap in the hole and landing 1 or 2 Scourge. That's all it took. All it took was a couple Scourge that are landing first, and he was able to completely dominate Odin there very, very quickly. So great game by Oversky. This match is now tied at 1. Going into set 3 on Destination. It's going to be Anytime versus Great. So I will see you in set 3. Great win by Oversky over Odin.